Greetings folks, in this video we're going to be looking at the T1 Ranger from Hewing. This is a very popular little twin FPV plane at the moment. A lot of people seem to really like it. It's a twin motor, 730mm wingspan. It is really clicked together assembly. The wings just click into the fuselage and there are electrical connectors going through the body, so no need to pass wires through to connect up. The boom just slots into place with a locking nut there, and the tail bolts on. You can see the tail servo is hiding underneath there, which is a pretty tricky little way of doing it. It's got nice plastic brackets holding everything together. It is very, very nicely designed with lots of good little features. It even comes with detachable landing gear. I really won't be able to use the landing gear where I am, but it's on for the moment. Really designed for FPV and flight control boards. There is a hole in the front there for a FPV camera, but my camera wouldn't fit in there, so I've just popped it up on top for the moment. I haven't got a flight control board in there at the moment, but eventually I'll put one in. There are some, nice tricky little things. It actually has LEDs wired up in the wingtips, but I don't know how to work them yet. We'll have to work that out eventually. A little bit of air inlet at the front there, and there's a vented plastic cover there for something like a GPS or video transmitter. Another one at the back there. So reasonable amount of airflow. There's no rudder, only elevator and ailerons. And it has a kind of a clever top hatch system. By the way, that little clip there, if you grab it at the front angle there, balance it, that gives you the correct center of gravity point. To get the center of gravity right, I've had to put a 3S 2200 battery in there, which kind of brings the weight up a fair bit. Mine, as it is now with the FPV and the 2200 3S battery, no flight controller, is at 530 grams, which is kind of heavy for a little plane like this, I think. Let's have a look at some of the specs. Material is EPP, and we've got ABS plastic and carbon fiber and aluminium. Wingspan 730mm, length 645mm, height 140mm, kit weight 205, takeoff weight 350 to 500 grams. I really don't know how you would get 350 grams as the takeoff weight unless you had a small heavy battery right up in the nose. They're saying minimum speed is less than 20 kilometers an hour. Maximum speed greater than 120 kilometers an hour, maximum range 25 kilometers, and maximum cruise 65 minutes. Well, we'll check out some of those things. Motors are FX 1404 3700 kV, and it comes with FX 20 amp brushless ESCs in the little motor nacelles there. Recommended battery 2S or 3S 1300 to 5000 milliamp hours. Depending on what's going to fit and what's going to balance it. Has FX 5-gram servos, tension, or I'm guessing that means maximum thrust is 600 grams, so better than 1-to-1 thrust ratio. Anyway, let's have a look inside. It's got a clever little clip system there, and you just clip the clip onto the hatch there, which then clips onto the wing spar going through there. You can see it's quite congested there with all my gear in, although there is enough room to fit flight control board and things down the back there. I've got my receiver in there. That's an RX6R. You can see you've got 3 wing connectors going through the body there. One for the ailerons, one for the motor ESC, and the other for the LEDs. Also has a power distribution board in there. I assume the ESCs in here don't have BECs, so you need to plug the BEC into the receiver or the flight control board to power everything. Comes with an XT60 plug. Ailerons are on a wire lead. Motor, I actually have my motor on a wire lead. You can individually connect the motors so that you can dial in differential thrust if you so desire. And the LEDs are on a wire lead as well. So as I said, the wings just click in and make the connections there. That's it. which means you can break it down very easily, stick it in a backpack, cycle to your flying spot, or hike to your flying spot if you want to. Perfectly suited for a little Matec F411 WSE board or a co-pilot. I'll do that eventually, but for our first flight, I'm just going to fly line of sight and just do some normal FPV. With the aileron servos, I have elected to connect the push rod in the third hole, just to reduce the throws down to about 10 millimeters up and down. Elevator, I have just connected to the outer hole of the servo arm and the control horn. It comes very nicely packed in this little box, and there are 3 individual boxes inside, labelled 1, 2 and 3, so very, very neatly packed. Very impressive, shows that they sort of really care about the presentation of their product anyway. You can get a few different versions of the HeeWing T1. Kit version, plug and play, and the plug and play plus flight controller, if it's actually available. This is the plug and play version with my own FPV added to it. Yeah, there have been a lot of kind of similar planes that have come out recently, and I just thought I'd show you the comparison between them all. The first one is the Eachine Flying Fish, which is also a twin, but as you can see, it is much, much smaller and closer to the toy range than the T1, the HeeWing T1. And also there's the Finwing X-Bird, which is sort of another size up again. This is a much, much bigger, more serious FPV platform, I think. This one can carry 7,000 milliamp hours of 4S, whereas the T1 is designed for smaller batteries and lighter weight. So they're all very interesting, but this video is all about the HeeWing T1 Ranger. So let's go and take it for a fly. Okay, it's fly time for the little HeeWing Ranger T1. As you can see, it's pretty packed tight in there. 2200 3S. I have a current sensor in there as well, FrSky 40 amp current sensor. There are my throws. I've reduced them a fair bit. It feels kind of heavy for a small plane, but it's going to have plenty of power, I think. So anyway, let's try it. Bit of a wobbly start, but yeah, it's pretty good. Flying pretty smoothly so far. Nice and quiet. Need to trim it up a little bit. Bit nose heavy, I think. Oh, very nice. There we go. Now we can relax. Okay. Nice and quiet. Oh. Flying a bit slow. I think I need to go a bit faster. It's pretty agile. I think a flight controller could help it a fair bit. Hey. Careful, Andrew. Tuned it a bit nose up. Okay, we're right now. So it can be nice and smooth. Oh, cool. 3.5 amps. That's not too bad. I thought the current was going to be a fair bit more. 4.3 amps. And that's cruising around nicely.
3.3 amps. 4.3 amps.
If you could reduce the weight a bit, which I can, because I've got a current sensor in there as well, which may have put the centre of gravity back a little bit maybe.
3.8 amps.
Hey, this is pretty cool. 3.8 amps.
1.7 amps.
Just buzzes around nice and quiet.
4.4
I'm
amps.
sort of going minimum speed.
4.7 amps.
So 4-5 amps, and is at this weight it's flying quite nicely.
5 amps. 5.2 amps.
5 amps. Still going nose up. There we go, that's better.
4 amps.
It's going pretty nicely. So 3-4 amps, 4
slowly flying. 4 or 5 amps for sort of smooth, faster flying.
3.6 amps.
I'd really like to try a lighter battery in there. It's pretty cool though.
7 amps. 3.8 amps.
It's quite agile, even though I have on the roll especially
5.1
no sort of inherent stability. You have to keep your
4.6 amps.
eye on the roll.
4.4 amps.
Nice fast roll rate.
0.9 amps.
This is pretty cool actually.
2 amps.
I'll have to get some FPV on and try a loop.
9 amps. 8.2 amps.
So what's the maximum current?
8.4 amps. 14 amps.
14 amps maximum, and she's hooking along.
1.4 amps.
Glide it past.
0.
Cool. It's a fun little line of sight plane, but it's going to be even better on FPV, I think. Let's try some FPV.
1.3 amps.
Let's bring it in. It's going to get lost in this grass.
7 amps.
You can see why I've taken off the landing gear.
Oh, it's looking very nice out there. No flight control board, just raw FPV now, and this is fun. This is 3S. I do have a 2S battery I might try. Take my current sensor off, reduce the weight a bit, see how that goes. Just cruising around over the bushes behind me. Losing the ground a bit in the bright cloudy sky. Yeah, this is cool. Buzzing around nice and quietly. Water's looking good. It was pretty grey and drizzly. Grass is pretty wet. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? Very cool. All right, so yeah, this is working very well. Flip a bit of a roll. Whoa, gives you vertigo doing that. Oh, it does it all very easily. Nice and quiet, nice small, unthreatening looking plane. Reasonably efficient too, I'd have to say. It'd be good on 4S, it'd be nice and efficient on 4S, I think. Let's try 2S. Way, oh, good stuff. Really enjoying this.
Okay, now I've got the Runcam thumb sitting up on the nose. We've got a 2S and it's a lot lighter. It just feels a lot lighter. Centre of gravity might have gone back a little bit, but let's see how this goes. That's pretty nice. We can back off a lot more, cruise around slower. Higher throttle percentage, almost need, that's full throttle. Because it's lighter, I feel I can chuck more loops and rolls. Fly slower. Yeah, I do like it a bit lighter. It is probably need a bit of expo. I don't know if I've got any expo in the ailerons, but yeah, it's pretty pretty agile. But that's going nicely.
RSSI low.
Oh, get out of there. Yeah, it's fun flipping little loops. Yeah, nice. It's a nice agile little plane.
RSSI low.
Why are you telling me that? Fly around inverted for it easily. Yeah, cool. It's a cool little plane. It's fun and capable. Ah, very nice. Let's turn the camera around the other way. So that's 2S, it's going quite nicely. Probably better on 3S, something like a 3S 1300 might be good. Or a 3-pack 18650 might be the one. Full power on 2S. It's a bit lacking on 2S, I have to say. 3S is the go. Little plane, it's going to disappear out over there. Back it off a bit. Yeah, with the flight controller and return to home and all that sort of stuff, it would be wonderful. But line of sight, I'm losing orientation a little bit. But going pretty well. Running out of grunt. 3S 18650 would be the go, I think. Whoops, sorry mate. Very cool. Oh well, there we go. So the little Hewing Ranger T1, it's a fun little plane. I can see why people love it. It's sort of low fuss. It doesn't have a lot of stability, so flight control board would help, or just fingers on the sticks, fly it properly and flies well. I think it probably has similar efficiency to the X-Bird, depending on how you fly it of course, but less battery carrying capacity, so it's probably not a long range flyer, more a zipping around proximity data, you know, shooting gaps, that sort of stuff, as other people have shown. So yeah, nice little plane anyway. I really like it. It'd be nicely designed with sort of snap together fittings, and just screw the tail on, lock the tail in, lock the tail boom in, nice and quiet, cool little twin. It doesn't have an enormous area inside, but that can be forgiven for the little size and the amount of fun you have with it. So there we have the Hewing T1 Ranger. Nice little plane. Thanks for watching.